Hello, and welcome to Author in the Headlights. I'm Gail Noble-Sanderson, also an author and friend of Strider Klussman, who we're interviewing today. I write historical fiction, cozy mystery, short stories, and I dabble in poetry. And Strider, welcome to Author in the Headlights. You're usually sitting where I'm sitting as the interviewer, and today you get to be the interviewee.
And it's rough on this end of the line.
Oh, you're on the hot seat, Strider, right now. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on in your writing world?
One, I don't write enough. There we go.
Yeah.
But this is for Recalled, my third book of the Adventures of Rhone and Stone series, and it's so much fun, and I so much love to write it. I just don't have time. Why? Well, because I'm doing everything else. Like,
So this new book, Recalled, and am I correct in saying it's a young adult genre trilogy?
it is. Will it extend further? Maybe. I mean, Rhone and Stone have a story that can go for eons. I mean, Stone is eons old. And there'll be break-off series. I've got the next one started already, Captain Bell and the Lady Nona. So it'll have its own series from that. And then there's a future one beyond that. So it'll be a trilogy of trilogies. But first, we got to get this one done.
Well, as a writer, we're always writing the next book while we're writing the current book. But
That's
you're
true.
right, you got to get recalled. I got to read this book, and I have to tell those of you listening, I couldn't put it down. It was fabulous, it was funny, it was creative, it's an adventure, a little bit of romance thrown in there. It's everything you could want in a great book. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the way I live. A little bit of romance, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of energy, a little bit of fun, a little bit of science, all those things. And that's actually why I chose young adult to write. At the time, I didn't know young adult from anything. It was just I wrote the things that the way I saw life. And it turned out they said, well, probably that's like a young adult. Okay, you call me a kid, right? A 70-something-year-old kid. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I live things.
Well, you made a comment to me as we were talking earlier about this interview, and you said one reason you write the YA genre is because you're teaching at the same time as you're providing a great read for young people.
Well, that's true. I've taught so many things in my life. My mom was actually the one who taught me that all you need to teach is to know one chapter ahead of the students. You
Done
don't
that.
have to get too worried about it because you learn read the next chapter ahead. And if you don't know the answer, then you go, we'll get to that.
Yeah. As I was reading this book too, it allowed me, as an author and a reader who's never explored the genre of Old West, gas lamp, light steampunk. I really didn't know anything about those genres. So I went in and researched and Googled and read what you wrote on your great website, by the way, and I learned a lot. That is a unique genre.
It is. I said, I write young adult because, well, I'll give you the down and out of my theory of it. Adults already know everything, or they think they do. They really don't want to change their mind. They've had a
Yeah.
lifetime of experience. They know what they mean. Kids are willing to learn. And I say
Mhm.
kids, I write basically teenage and up,
Yeah.
13 to 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19, wherever you go from there. Because truly, there's probably more adults that read my books than teenagers, but I still write to that level.
When I read your book, I did not know it was supposed to be a young adult genre. I did not know that, nor did I think it wasn't for adults. So I think its readability flows across all ages.
Well, the data is accurate. I put in there. I try to make it both scientifically real. Um, Stone is an eon ages old entity, and he's gained his own life and knowledge. And so he teaches this teenager the things of nature and how they work, and the things that we think we know, like the speed of sound. It's in the first book in Stone. They talk about the speed of sound because they're trying to, anyway, there's this equation they put together. And it turns out that there is no true speed of sound. We learn a number, but
Mm.
if you think about it, the speed of sound depends on the temperature. It depends on the medium, what it's going through. It goes
Mm.
through air at a different speed than it goes through rock at a different speed than it goes through water. And see, there's different, so it changes it. So Stone teaches Rhone these things when they're discussing these processes. It's not like I'm teaching somebody something, I'm telling a story, but there's true data behind the story that you can't read the book without learning
Right,
things.
without learning it. And Stone also teaches common sense.
Hopefully.
So, yeah,
That is
hopefully.
not so common, however. It's kind of a misnomer.
Oh, but I think it's wonderful. So it was wonderful. Stone does a great job in that book. Now, you also are Durham Publishing.
Yes, Duramen Publishing is me. Um, and Duramen is an old, I'll call it my household name. I used to do sword fighting, broadsword combat, and fencing and archery. And I've been a big game guide, and I've been a general contractor. I've been a designer, three-dimensional design and art, and an author. I've owned 11 businesses, 12, maybe 13. It's hard to say over my lifetime. I haven't truly counted them all up. I've done a lot of stuff.
And you're only 55.
Yeah, a couple decades ago.
That's right. Well, you talked a little bit about you're going on with, you're finishing this book up as part of that trilogy. Then you've got Captain Bell and Lady Luna.
Mhm.
And then you even mentioned something after that, sand sharks.
Now, Sand Sharks is the first book of Captain Bell and the Lady Luna,
Oh,
which is
that's
an
the title.
offshoot of The Adventures of Rhone and Stone. So we have a female protagonist in that, and she takes the Lady Luna, which is the airship they develop, and through some, well, that's book two in Luna, where they develop the airship. I say they because Bella and Rhone developed this thing out of Rhone's design work and Stone's scientific knowledge on how to, and they put this thing together. And he starts creating this by filling a whale's bladder on a backpack full of steam, and actually kind of scoots him up off the ground, and off they go. And so they develop this more and more and more and develop. It is all, it works. You can go out and build one. Is it going to be great? Well, no first time things are, as he
Right.
finds.
It takes a while. Yeah.
That's right. But that science development, that's the book. That's the excitement of watching this thing grow from a nothing with a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of science help from Stone
Mm-hmm.
and Roan's design. And then it turns out to be Bella's energy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The fiery little waitress where he stays, and they put this thing together. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's recalled, which is book three that's coming out. Then she ends up taking over the Lady Luna as captain because he can no longer, as an agent, he gets called back to work. And she then takes over the airship, and she has her own series of stories to go with that, where she is captain now.
I'm really looking forward to that series as well. That's going to be exciting. Now I know you lead an extraordinarily busy life. You have your hands in a lot of pots. And you and I were commiserating that, we don't have enough time to write. But sometimes when I hear other authors say, you have to sit down and write every day, or you're not a writer, or you're not writing. But I must say that I'm writing in my head all the time. And I have to make peace with myself because I don't necessarily sit down with paper and pencil or on the computer every day. That I say, yes, but I'm writing in my head. Are you writing in your head all the time?
No, I'm reading all the time.
Yes,
If I don't
yes.
have one book open, I've got two or three.
Me
I
too. Yeah.
read for reviews for other people. I read books as for the authors on Author in the Headlights. I try to be up on what they're writing, so I have to be doing that. Somewhere in
Hmm.
there, I'm reviewing my own work, which takes me forever because you write a book, 15 times before it's done.
Of course
So,
you do.
so
Yes. And
that's,
that's the hardest part, isn't it?
oh
The
my gosh,
rewrites
because you
and
can't,
edits.
yeah, Robert Dugoni told me he never put out a bad book because you will lose your audience. He's a great friend of mine. I love the guy. And so
Hmm.
many of the authors that I talk to, that talk to me rather, they give me those bits of wisdom, on big names. And I try to take those to heart. I put that into my writing. Still 4.9 stars on Amazon. And
Yeah.
that's almost unbelievable.
Yeah. That's
Stone
fantastic.
was doing
So,
better, except he got a 1 star review, which, by the way, it's like Amazon takes that and makes it like 50 because somehow then their calculations, a 1 star review that says it's just not my thing. And that was the review.
well, are you going to have any kind of a launch for Recalled or a party or
Well,
a
that's a
kickoff?
really good thing. I have found, as you're an author, too, those reviews are what is the backbone to your books selling, at
Mhm.
least. And
Mhm.
I have great reviews, but it takes a long time to get reviews.
It does.
So,
It really does.
so for Recalled, we have planned this thing. Um, we're going to look for some ARC readers, which is advanced reader copies, to get the
Mhm.
book ahead of time so they can read the book. And I am offering a free book, a free ebook to anyone willing to read the book and give an honest review
On Amazon,
on Amazon. Well, actually, pretty much anywhere. I would like
anywhere.
to have it on Amazon because that's where most of my customers come
Exactly.
from.
Now,
And it's easiest to put there.
now I have a question. I it's my understanding, but it might have changed because things change, that unless you go on and buy the book directly from Amazon, you cannot put a review on.
That is not
So
true.
how, oh, thank you. Okay.
That
It
is
is
not
not
true.
true.
Now, some people simply don't know how to give a review. And
Hmm.
if you get a hold of me, and we'll put a link on here to do that, I will give you directions on how to do it. But basically, when you go on Amazon and you put the name of the book in that you want, and it comes to that book,
Yeah.
if you scroll down lower on the page, there will be a place that says give a review. You
Hmm.
do not have to purchase that book there. If you purchase the book, it will give it greater weight in the
Oh,
algorithm.
oh,
But
I oh
anybody
that
can write a
understand.
review
And
for
write a
any
review.
book. Yep.
So that means since I have read Recalled, I can go on and give it a 5-star review this afternoon.
Yep. Or if you think it was crummy, you too can give it a 1 star review. I hope not, because I hope I don't write poorly.
Hey, you do
But
not,
I
you
want
are
an
a
honest
very
review.
good writer. We all want honest reviews as
We
authors.
do. As
That's
authors, we
because
do.
because if we're not writing well for our readers, we need to improve what we're doing.
Here, here. And
Mhm.
I'm a student for life. I'm only
Oh, we all
70
better
some years
be.
old and I am
Yeah.
going to school right now. I'm going to college. I'm going to UC Davis, some online courses through them.
So when people ask, okay, Recalled's coming out, we're really excited to read it, how will you let people know?
If you are interested in becoming an ARC reader for me, then there'll be a link for you to click to, and there'll be directions on how to go about it, and I will send you an ebook. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. And I think you will certainly have people respond, and then you will certainly get great reviews.
Hey, I don't want any more than 500. That's all I can handle.
Oh, well, we can make that happen from this podcast.
I hope so. I hope so.
It has been great talking with you today. Anything else that you would like to share with us?
I tell you, just the people that show up here to watch this show, I love them all. It is so much fun for me to do this, and I wouldn't be able to if there weren't people out there watching. Well, I suppose I could. I talk to myself too most of the day. Nobody else wants to hear me.
Well, you have a lot of good things to say, right?
We do. And I love to hear other authors. And it's not just authors, it's authors and editors and narrator voiceovers and book
Mhm.
review companies. It's things to do with writing, but it's also just people that that
Yeah.
love the written word.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And thanks to all of you who watched Author in the Headlights today with outstanding author Strider Klussman. And we look forward to Recalled and the great books that are coming after that.
And for those of you out there, I'm going to step in and say, hey, thanks for being part of us today. And really, I do give Gail a great thanks for stepping in for me. Gail Noble-Sanderson, look up her books. There'll be links to them too. It's wonderful. Her House of Meuse and all that series, as well as all the rest she does. Thanks, Gail.
You're welcome. Thank you, Strider.
And until next time.